What's up, yo? What's going on with everybody, man? It's your boy Machiavelli here, Shade Sports TV. Make sure y'all hit that like button and hit that subscribe button to help grow this page and send it more, to people more like you who looking for the same kind of information that you're looking for on this app. Because you know, YouTube got a lot of streamers, got a lot of people that's on here doing their thing, and we ain't hating nobody. We just trying to do our thing. You know what I'm saying? Um, but what I want to talk about is Canelo Crawford, as we can see right here in the corner. We want to talk about the Canelo Crawford fight. And what I think is like, you know what I'm saying, what I think is important. You get what I'm saying? I think it's a lot. I think a lot is important with this fight. I think a lot that has a lot is on the line for both fighters. I'm gonna start with Terrence Crawford for the that's on the line for him is, you know, I would say legacy, and I'm gonna take a different twist to this. I'm gonna take a different approach than most people do when they talk about this. Because Terrence Crawford's legacy is on the line, in my opinion, because this is like his first, like he said, this is his mega fight. You know, Canelo was the last of their era that exists in their era. So you know, I think that's big because he had his Errol Spence, who actually he's been doing it for way longer than Errol Spence. Errol Spence been doing his thing for quite some time. You know what I'm saying? But he was doing it longer than Errol Spence. But Errol Spence was after the accident and the touch retina and you know two mediocre fights. Even though he pulled out the one on Danny Garcia and Jordanis Ugas, he pulled it off. But then he had the accident before both of those, and I just don't think he was in no like real physical fighting position to fight Terrence Crawford. But let's just talk about what's on the line for him as far as his legacy. Like this is his first fight that he has. And I don't even want to sit here and do the age thing for Canelo because I don't think that's fair. I think that Crawford is older than Canelo, so we can't say the age, whatever the case is. I think that this is like a perfect fight for Crawford right here. Because if you want to go down his resume, he had Errol Spence after the accident. He had Sean Porter, who was considered retirement, you know, streaming, broadcasting, you know, calling fights and stuff like that. He had American, who was well beyond his days. He had Kell Brook, who was well behind his days. He had all the younger fighters at the smaller weight classes and whatever the case is. But you know, we all say Terrence Crawford's resume is a little, you know, suspect, a little, you know, questionable. And I think most can agree with that. Like if you want to make your point and make your comments, you know, drop the comment down below, and I have no problem entertaining that. You know what I'm saying? But you know, this is the first fight to where it's like, yo, it's an elite fighter. You can't question anything if he gets his win. If he gets his W, like you gotta give this man his respect. And that's me just being honest with this whole thing. While we're here, don't forget to like and subscribe to the page, y'all. The Straight Sports TV, Machiavelli. Make sure we help push his content to other people that's looking for the same material that you are. So it's legacy definitely on the line for Terrence Crawford, in my opinion. We got it. We have to acknowledge that. We have to note that. And now for Canelo, what's on the line for him is his legacy as well. Even though Canelo's resume is good, he has a nice lengthy resume. Regardless of what you want to say, cherry pick whatever the case is, he when you look through his resume, whether you think Canelo cherry picked or not, he got some notable names in that resume, regardless. And you know, he fought a lot of people. He fought Danny Jacobs, Caleb Plant, Gennady Golovkin 3 times. Whether we want to say the third time was old, wanted to beat the fights, he still got these fighters on his resume. So what's wrong? What's on the line for Canelo and his legacy is, in my opinion, uh, I gotta say the smaller man coming up and beating you. You cannot let that happen. Canelo do not want to lose to Terrence Crawford. He do not want to lose to Terrence Crawford. I repeat, he does not want to lose to Terrence Crawford. And we know this. Anybody, Canelo is not playing. Canelo's putting out all the stops. He's sparring with Jerome Boots Ennis. He don't look like he's playing around this camp. He's locked in. He's dialed and he's in shape. Um, but you know, I think that is a lot on the line for both fighters. And I just say those two things. I just feel like um, I feel like a lot more is on the line for Canelo Alvarez. Because like I said, he got his legacy and he's got all these good fighters that he's beaten and good fighters that he's faced. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to Terrence Crawford, you know, he got all these asterisks next to some of his wins, but he's a tremendous fighter. We cannot hate on Terrence Crawford. We actually, the Bud Buddies, I like to say, shout out to my man Eagle for coming up with that. The Bud Buddies, I got to be like this. Like, look, you might try to say something's wrong. You might try to say, "Oh, you hating?" Nah, nobody hating on Bud. We know Bud is a tremendous fighter, a tremendous talent, a skilled boxer, aggressive. I call him a stalker boxer. You know what I'm saying? Because he's not really defensive. He's not really like he know how to do like the little quick little moves, get out of space, control the distance and space, and that's why this fight's gonna be so interesting because the smaller man with all these skills coming up to fight the bigger man. And if he could pull it off, we got to give him his credit because he hasn't been able to get his credit with a lot of fights that he's had in the past. He's had like all these, like I said, the Americans who was well past his day, the Kell Brook who was, done, man, shot, ain't fight 47 in years and been beat up by a couple people. Uh, you know what I mean? Sean Porter broadcasting and, calling fights. Spence after the accident. Like we don't listen. It's a lot. Whether you want to agree or not, you want to talk crap. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we got to remember that we are in the world of the special school bus kids, and that's what I call them because whenever you see somebody who just be ranting and ranting and ranting and don't want to realize the fact with the fact. You know what I'm saying? They put the feelings over the facts. You know what I'm saying? I put facts over feelings here. So like the facts is this. Everything I just named is factual. Whether it's my feelings, it's not my feelings, it's facts because everything if you can deny it or you can dispute it, let me know. I'm with it. Let me know. I will debate with you all day about this because this is a fact. You can't debate a fact. Um but this is the first time that Crawford will had a chance to, what I mean, just do what he do and he can get full credit because nothing's wrong with Canelo. Nothing's going on. We have no Canelo been fighting in May and September for the past years. I think one of them years, a few years back, he fought like 3 or 4 times. Um But Canelo's been on schedule, on pace with the same fights. Canelo's been the one that's been fighting one time a year and this, that, and the third. So even this year layoff is not much new for Crawford. I think that he's got an advantage by doing that because he had a year to get used to this weight that he's walking around with, that he's going to be fighting with. He had a year to get used to this. So like I can't even say a year layoff because he been fighting once a year every damn year any damn way. So what's the difference? So we can't even say, oh, he was rusty. No, no, don't even try that. We won't even do that. We won't even allow that to be said. But this is gonna be a good fight, man. And we're 10 days away, and I actually can't wait. I'm actually excited for this fight. Even though this wasn't the big fight that the boxing world was calling for, the anticipation is starting to thicken. You know what I'm saying? The anticipation is starting to thicken, and we starting to really want to see this fight, and we want to see who's going to become victorious this night. Terrence Crawford got the skills and the talent, and Canelo is just a bigger guy, the bigger guy. But Terrence Crawford, we know that he lifts weights. He's a strong guy. Most of the fighters that have been in the ring with him say he's stronger than I thought. And it's like if you really paid attention to Terrence Crawford coming up, he ain't never been a weak guy. Like he's always been. He's a former wrestler. You get what I'm saying? So we all know this. This is not. I'm not saying nothing that nobody doesn't know, unless you just don't know boxing or nothing about boxing or nothing about these fighters. If you're not like keeping up with these fighters or checking for these fighters, Terrence been a strong guy. So like I will not be surprised if I sit here and see that Terrence is stronger than Canelo thought. But I won't be surprised if he's not strong enough because this is my thing. You can be strong as you want. You can't change that chin. Terrence been getting rocked and hurt by people since we can remember. You get what I'm saying? He's been moving up and weight and still stopping guys, but he had to fight with Madrimov with a lot of amateur experience and stuff like that, but only 11 pro fights or 12 pro fights because he was 11-1. um, or 11-0-1, whatever the case is. But he had a tough fight there, so the power didn't show as far as like what we know, because he could have hurt Madrimov, but Madrimov could have just had the poker face and just not let it be seen. But overall, Terrence Crawford is a tremendous fighter. We all know that. But and like I said, this will be a win for him that could solidify him or put a good win on his record without an asterisk. Because like I said, sad to say, that's how his career's been for the past years after leaving Top Rank or signing that extension with Top Rank. I think kind of hurt him too, but we're not gonna get on that. That's a whole other topic. Um, But Canelo, like I said, Canelo, he is the bigger guy. You know, Terrence Crawford has been strong, but won't be surprised to be stronger or as strong. But it'll be a surprise to be stronger, honestly, because even though he's been lifting weights, he ain't been fighting guys that size. Canelo been fighting the Dimitri Bivol. He been fighting Caleb Plant, Jamel Charlo, which is coming up in weight. He fought excuse me, Kovalev, Triple J, just bigger guys, bigger punches naturally. And he been at 168 for some time now. So yeah, like we got to see how this fight play out, man. I don't really have a prediction, but I my prediction is I won't be surprised uh if Canelo wins. I don't think that Canelo's gonna knock Crawford out. And the reason why I don't think Canelo's gonna knock Crawford out is because I just don't feel like Canelo is a no, not Canelo, I'm sorry. I don't feel like Crawford is gonna allow himself to get caught like that. You know what I'm saying? I just don't feel like Crawford gonna allow himself to get caught. Like Crawford is a smart guy. Crawford do get caught, but like he knows how to get caught, if that makes sense. I don't know. Um yeah, I don't know, man. But we're gonna see, man. September 13th is coming around the corner. And it's a lot on the line, man. Bud gotta is you know trying daring to be great, so they say. And we're gonna see how great he is. And if not, we're gonna see it we're gonna see the reason why weight classes matter. You know what I'm saying? With that, because of all the athletic abilities that Crawford possesses, we gonna see. We gonna see, y'all. That's it, man. Y'all know what it is, man. Straight Sports TV, man. Let's get it.